fear, anger, disgust, wanting to rip your eyes out and wash them with Clorox. That's what comes to my mind when I think or see a furry and My Hero Academia fans. Now, not trying to put too much hate on these characters, not trying to go say kill yourself, because that's obviously wrong and nobody should be killing themselves at all. Like, seriously, don't do that. That's bad. You'll die. But today, I'm going into a very serious question, something that I asked myself a while back ago. Now, I made 2 videos. I'm on a subject similar to this. Well, not really similar, but I'll tell you them anyways. I made one YouTube short about a furry.
I treat people kindly. They call me an adeptus. And if I put them in their place, they call me a witch. The one thing you'll never hear them call me is human.
And then I made another YouTube video, full video, on My Hero Academia fans. Or not My Hero Academia fans, but My Hero Academia itself. So, I thought really hard and really long, because I made this video 3 times already. This is the 3rd take on a video, so I really hope you enjoyed this one. But I've been thinking hard and long. What is worse, and what would I rather be? A My Hero Academia fan and a furry? That's the question I'm going to ask today. I'm going to provide a little backstory for both. So, strap yourselves in, boys, and let's get into it. Now, I made a whole video talking about My Hero Academia, so if you want to watch that, links in the description. But I'm not going to be talking about My Hero Academia, the show itself. I'm going to be talking about the fandom. To make a long story short, so My Hero Academia was an anime that I believe released in 2016. It had a good runtime. The show was decent. The first couple seasons were pretty good. And it was well received by fans. 2020 came along, 4 years later. COVID hit. TikTok was born. Yeah, that disease to the earth. People started migrating towards TikTok, and all the Dream Stands discovered this wonderful anime called My Hero Academia. So, what did they do? They went over there, and they had a good time. They respected the anime. The people accepted them. The anime became the #1 anime in the world. And it became the most loved anime in the world because of how good it was. Psych, that was a lie. It all went downhill from there. Not so much the anime, but the fandom. The fandom was once a peaceful time, a peaceful place. Something where people can go in and share their love for the anime and the manga. But that all went downhill when the Dream Stands came in and ruined the frick out of everything. To put it short, My Hero Academia fans are a tumor to this planet. An absolute atrocious cancer that need to be dealt with immediately. It's like, remember Halo 3 and the flood on the ring? Yeah, the ring is this planet and the flood is the My Hero Academia fans. Let that sink in for a little bit. They're obviously cringe. I made an entire video on why My Hero Academia sucks balls. And a lot of them just ship the most disgusting ships I've ever seen in my entire freaking life. I'm like I said, I already made a video about it, talking about Gacha Life and stuff like that. I do want to make a future video about Gacha Life because Gacha Life's a whole different hairball within itself. But I'll leave that to the side for now. Let's get on to the furries. So surprisingly, actually, furries can have its origins rooted back in the 1970s. Yeah, the 70s. That's what Google said. I'm going off of what Google is doing here. And it really didn't start gaining ground until the 90s and the 2010s. Between that 20-year period time, that's when the furries were discovering themselves. They were wondering, what is our purpose in this world? 2016 came along, and they found that purpose. And it was to make cringe videos all over the internet and dress up as animals. Now, I'm not going to say anthropomorphic characters are bad, nor is dressing up as some particular anthropomorphic characters not cool. I myself am making a comic book with an anthropomorphic character who is a monkey, but I think that's more anthropomorphic, more human, because apes share a lot of DNA with humans, but I'm getting off topic. 20 let's continue. 2020 is when it started going rough downhill. Twitter was born, or not Twitter. Twitter still has the main part of it, but TikTok was born, and it just went crazy from there. The furries within themselves started hoarding TikTok and started literally rivaling My Hero Academia fans. Except furries probably had a stronger foothold since people like to be horny over anthropomorphic animals and Lola Bunny from Space Jam. Yeah, so it was a whole weird debacle that happened, and it's still going on to this day. Very strong, very cringe, and I consider it very, very weird for you dressing up as an animal. But this is not answering our question. Our question is, what would I rather be? A My Hero Academia fan or a furry? There's pros and cons of each, but to make this quick, let's start with My Hero Academia. Of what I would rather be. Pros and cons of that. Pretty good anime. From season 1 to season 3 were pretty cool. Pretty cool characters. One con would be that they over-sexualize minors, but yeah, that's a whole debacle within itself. And they are very, 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 very into ships in My Hero Academia, and it's very creepy. And people dedicate entire YouTube videos, entire YouTube channels to making fan fiction of these characters. And some of them are weird, some of them are absolute criminalistic, to say the least. Furries are on a whole different level of their own. So from what I've seen, they're pedophiles. Hardcore pedophiles. Now, obviously, not all of them are pedophiles. I'll make an entire video dedicated to furries and why furries are seen in such a bad light. But for now, I'm just talking about what would I rather be. So, people see them as pedophiles and zoophiles, which is both absolutely disgusting, and I would consider an actual mental problem if you are attracted to an animal, and if you're a pedophile. That is something's not firing right in the brain. But if I had to come down to it, I'd rather be, and don't hate me for this, a My Hero Academia fan. Wait, hold your horses. Listen to me for a sec, alright? I said I'd rather be a My Hero Academia fan. I never said I was going to be a My Hero Academia fan, nor am I ever going to be a furry. Now, the reason I say why I'd rather be a My Hero Academia fan is because furries are just seen in such a bad light right now. It's insane. My Hero Academia would be just as equally just as terrible as being a furry, in my opinion. And like I said before, not all furries are bad, and not all My Hero Academia is a fan. I'm just going off of what the general audience sees them as. Since furries dress up as animals, and then My Hero Academia fans dress up as people, humans, the general public sees furries more in a negative light, so to speak. Me personally, I see them both equally as cringe, but being a My Hero Academia fan is less cringe in today's modern society. Well, one thing I do have to say though is they're both, when it comes to dedication, they are both very dedicated. Furries even more dedicated to what they believe, because people be dropping these things in the thousands. Now, I'll mention this in a future video, but yeah, furry suits can get very freaking expensive. So it's a whole debacle there. Now, that could all change for the future, for the better. Both being seen as absolutely atrocious, and both should be not good, because dressing up as an animal is weird. And the thing is, they don't dress up as an animal just for the sake of dressing up as an animal. They don't even dress up as a cool character who is an animal. They dress up as an animal to over-sexualize themselves. Now, like I said, I'll make a whole video dedicated onto furries and why furries are seen in such a bad light. And I'm going to do one on Gotcha Life as well. But yeah, that's all I have for today. I'd rather be a My Hero Academia fan because they're less cringe from what the general public sees. And you're dressing up as a human rather than a dog. So yeah, that's all I have to do, and see ya. Bye.